Talking with T.J. Parker, head coach of Austintown Fitch Falcons, as they get ready to duel with Cheney tomorrow night, Friday night. It's Thursday. High school football kicks off in the area tonight. Poland Canfield and Ursuline has a home game as well, and Ohio Niles and all that stuff. But your game's tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Well, day before, it's almost the night before. What's the feeling? What's the vibe here at Austintown Fitch right now? In your second year as the head coach of the Falcons.
I think in all my years of coaching and all the sports I've coached, I've never been more excited to finally take the field. It does feel like last week that you were here and we were doing interviews, and that was last season. But in terms of our staff and our players, we've been together competing versus each other since after our season ended last year. And the past 2 weeks, I've told everyone, have been kind of nice to be able to hit someone else and prepare for someone else. But now that the game is finally here, I know our guys are. I'm sure there's nerves there, and that's what we want. The West Side rivalry's back. It's a big game one. We want to be the biggest games in the Valley every year. That's what you think about when you come to a place like Austintown Fitch. But we're just excited to pad up and put the game jerseys on and get under the lights on Friday night.
Without rehashing last season, what is the motivating factor? And do you kind of wish Todd Simons didn't kind of go down, because it would have shown more potential of your club going into this season as well? So I don't know all that. What do you use for this season from last season?
Yeah, I think everyone talks about, the first thing people want to say in terms of when you're evaluating a team is they always bring up experience, and it's not that, we wish Todd didn't go down or any of that, but it's those experiences that I think our kids realize they have to learn from. And then the experiences of having a year behind our belt, a year of what our program looks like, what practices look like, what our expectations are, what the plays are, the schemes, the verbiage, all of that, how to prepare for a game the right way. Having that year and that experience, and then, getting into some playoff games and finding ways to win last year, all that was important. And that's what, I thought helped us last year is we found ways to win in games, and maybe other seasons that it could have went the other way. We found ways to win, and winning cures a lot. So I think that helped with the buy-in of the kids in the program.
Preparation, it looks from just what I see, is probably pretty key in your program, and discipline, those kind of things. Did you bring, how much of your college background coaching did you bring here? I don't want to get in the weeds here, but and then we'll talk about the season that helped you get to right now and have this team ready to go in your second year like this.
No, I think, it's not only college. Scott Benzel and the way he runs his program at Westminster, they're a top 10 team in the country right now. He's brought them back, but, I learned a ton from him. But I think from every coach, even when I played, to all the sports I was in, you can learn from every coach, and positives and negatives. What did you like? What did you enjoy? What did you feel made you better? And then vice versa. So I think from that aspect, I've learned a lot, and I think we're still learning to this day. Like, our staff have a bunch of good minds in there, and then to be teamed up with a strength and conditioning coach who also has his ideas on how to prepare us, it's something that we take pride on. And, one of our mottos is the best will be developed here. We believe in that, and every day we're striving to get better each day and each year to make this program as best as possible.
Before we talk about some of the personnel that I like on your team, you talked about the West Side rivalry. It kind of used to really be a big deal. Open your season that way. How do you feel about it? What are you concerned with, and then what do you need to do to get your season off to a great start?
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
Yeah, in a quick nutshell, I just think about like our senior year when we felt like Fitch was coming back.
What year was that?
That was 2002 season, 2003. We had a big pivotal game opening up with Ed Mack and Keelan Dykes and Justin Hood. That was that Cheney team. Halinka, a lot of good names over there, and I didn't feel like we were prepared the right way, and we lost a close one to them. We came out, they jumped on us, the game got delayed, we went, and then that kind of ended up costing us a playoff run, a chance at a playoff, and a game that to this day I know me and my friends would love to have back. And now to have that game and that significant game in the front of our schedule, I think it heightens the energy and then heightens our expectations. We have something to work forward to. And we did gain a good experience last year throwing Boardman right in the front as a rivalry game. So our kids know how to prepare and be ready right out of the chute. But, our goals are, tomorrow night, we want to start fast. We want to come out like a team that has prepared for this for as long as we prepared for it. We want to be sound, and we know that everything's going to run through number 5 there, and he's one heck of a player. But we're prepared for the challenge, and they got some other guys who can do some good things.
Hewlett's a pretty good player, yes.
He's a very good player, yeah.
Probably both sides of the ball, am I wrong? I mean, is he playing D? I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, he's a safety hybrid.
I mean, this year, I didn't know if they were going to use.
He's been more recruited as a defensive player.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was an impact last year on both sides of the ball. Scored a touchdown.
Fantastic
on a slant.
prospect.
But I mean,
one of the best in the area for the next year.
Oh yeah, and right now.
Exactly.
He's a player. And then they got 2 guys, a defensive end, Division I guys, and Clive Wilson and J.R. Tellington.
Yep.
Both those guys, they'll try to do it on both ends for them. But then they got a lot of names. It's a typical Cheney team. They're tough, athletic, and fast. We know they're going to give a dogfight, and we like that. You know what I mean? We know when we punch, they'll punch back, and it'll be a 4-quarter game.
Yeah, like last year. Just so keep Leskovac out of the conversation.
That's it. That's all we have to do.
Okay.
He's gone. He's passed. We're going to miss him, but man, we now have Devin. Devin doesn't lack any confidence, so he did a good job. You put him in some pressure cooker questions. That's that experience I'm talking about. He learned from Leskovac's mistakes.
And as you know, he's very humble because I wanted to go a little bit further. And
I know. Yeah.
I curtailed it a little bit, because to make him comfortable. But that F on your shirt isn't just an F for you, and then you're all in. Besides trying to be a good football coach, you're a Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Fitch Falcon.
I think. For the year and a half that I've been here, and everyone has their questions, or they understand that I really care about the community and this program, and I want this program to lead the charge in what goes on in this community. I take great pride in that, and everyone has their opinions on things, and I do take it personal when someone from the band or someone else, they're having a bad experience here in their high school, or someone in the classroom's having a bad experience, and they want to say they want to go somewhere else. I do take it personal. I want our best families, our best kids to want to move to Austintown and be a part of what we're building here.
Okay, good luck tomorrow night, obviously.
Thank you.
It all starts, just from my perspective, watching and fans with the quarterback here. Let's start with him. And he's my evaluation of him, very confident young man, waiting to do even more. It hasn't had that opportunity really yet to shine. So, am I pretty close right now? Yeah,
I mean, Devin is an extremely hard worker
because of injury.
But he's an extremely hard worker, and as fortunate as he has been throughout his life, he's hit some roads, and he feels doubted by some, and that confidence builds in him, and honestly, I believe that's what drives him. That's what ticks him and makes him go, and he's excited to be healthy, and he's excited to put on a show, and the kid does not lack confidence, but he's aggressive. He has a bulldog mentality, and he will come at you, and that was just proven by his toughness and all that last year. I mean, he was told he was out for the season, and he said, I'm going to play through it. That shoulder came out multiple times throughout the season, and he just kept fighting. And to have a guy like that in that position, to add in his ability, it's not just heart and hustle and all that. He's got skills, and I think you'll see those on display this season.
So as the quarterback last season, what percentage was he able to do of Devin Sherwood, which is going to be better this year as a whole, but what percentage was he operating at?
When I look at Devin Sherwood, I break him down into 3 parts. You know what I mean? He's a thrower to start, and we got to use that last year. That was obviously what we capitalized on, so that wasn't taken away. He's a football mind. The kid wants to study the game. He wants to dive into film, so we got that last year also. The third segment of his game is his athleticism and his legs. We really, very rarely got to use that last year, and that's a big part of his game, and you're going to see that more this year. He learned from last year, he grew, but that third aspect of his game is something that we're excited about, and I know he's excited about.
You think Cheney's aware of this or not? That he could run a little bit?
You know what? I don't think he might have. I don't think he took off at all in there. But I don't think they're aware.
But they'll see a different player, obviously, right? I mean, he was handicapped a little bit, we'll say, last season.
Yes,
with his abilities. That's all.
They'll definitely see a different player, and a lot of the teams that we play in the area are well aware of that.
Sure. So, if he's got we have an injury in the backfield at least. Well, let's kind of start there. But you have Tyree Mitchell back, and you have a youngster DJ Williams. I guess that's going to maybe pick up for James, is he out for the year, or what can you say about his injury?
Jamel, unfortunate off-season injury that he's day by day, honestly, with his physical therapy. So it's an extended time. We don't know. We want to do what's best for him. That kid has a bright future. He'll be playing football.
Junior this year.
He'll be playing football long after Friday nights. So I want to put him in the best position for his future. But he's killing it in physical therapy and doing his best to be back this season. Fortunately, we feel that's one of our deepest positions in our program. Tyree Mitchell, who started as a sophomore and got carries tons of time last year, battled through injuries. He's ready to go. He's one of the guys that if you asked me who had a great offseason, it'd be him. And then the young incomer who's ready to roll. We're very excited about DJ Williams. Sophomore, yep. He actually got some carries last year as a freshman, which hasn't happened since Maurice Claret ended up scoring a touchdown versus Ursuline, but he's a young bull, and he's pent up, and he's ready to explode for a Friday night. And, when the lights get bright, DJ gets brighter.
Did Claret return a kickoff in that game, or was that that was probably a Berea game, maybe? I forget.
That's more you than it is to me.
Okay. But, you mentioned his name just wow.
I just know he was the last freshman to be bumped up, because we have a freshman program, and when I came in, that's something I wanted the freshmen to start practicing with varsity and doing things with varsity. And I think Maurice Claret, they didn't even let Billy Price come up, so he was the last one to do it. And we had Dan Evans and then DJ play last year, and Deshaun Vaughn also played as a freshman.
When I asked you in the off season, about James, and you said he was hurt, and so I asked you about the sophomore, and you said, well, people are forgetting about number 10. Is it number 10?
Yeah,
right?
Tyree. Yeah, I mean, he's behind two guys that we feel hopefully will play some big time college football, and so will Tyree. He's in between those guys, and he's excited to basically have his senior year ready to roll and be the focal point of our offense in the backfield. We've talked about it last year with Todd Simons, and then Devin being injured and Leskovac was injured. It's a next man up mentality, and to Tyree to stay with us and stay the course, he deserves it, and he'll be ready to go Friday night.
I guess Tyler Evans is going to take maybe a little bit of Todd Simon's slack outside, or as a receiver. Talk about that. And Cam Smith is going to catch some few balls this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our receiving core, it's an Austintown Fitch receiving core. You have Tyler Evans. He'll be our lead returner. Donnie Ellis suffered an injury in camp. He'll be out for a little bit, but he'll be all right. Both of those two guys, two different types of athletes. Tyler's your do everything. Donnie's highly explosive. Then we'll add some guys from the defense coming over, led by Cam Smith and then Dan Evans, both who started on the defense last year as youngsters, are now coming over. And they're two. I think Cam will more pick up where Todd is, that tall, lanky, outside, jump ball, go take the top off receiver. And Dan's going to help work the middle where Leskovac worked a lot last year. And then you have a track speedster in Jaden Neely, and then some young guys behind him. Jaden Neely's one of the fastest guys in the area. I think he's around 11 flat, 100. So you have those guys. It's a lot of speed, a lot of talent, and some youngsters under him, and Johnny Ruggles and Don Perry, who are going to see some action.
Maybe go vertical if you choose to this year.
Okay.
It's going to make a lot of noise. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. We got to. He said this is going to make a lot of noise.
Okay.
Gary. I don't want to. But.
Before we had to get cut off, and it might rain here real soon. I appreciate it, Coach. I know you got practice here in a little while. We talked about the receivers. I know Jeff Bruno's kind of in charge of the offensive line. He's a long-time name coach in this area, and it looks like he helped a little bit last year. If you could kind of just touch on some of the big guys, and maybe we'll just move on after that.
Yeah, I think when you look at our team, and if you're scouting us, the O-line is the biggest question mark. But those guys we return. I'd say 1.5 starters. Chris King's our lone returner, and then Colin Moore, who rotated in last year. Both those guys will be the staples of our line. And then you add at guard Sam Moxley, at a center you have Rocco Odom, and then at left tackle a mix of Jack Knight and Josh Fitzgerald, who come over from defense. Jeff does a great job with those guys. Those guys, they're the closest tight-knit group on our team, and they're a group of guys who they've worked for it and they deserve it, and I'm most excited to see them compete and get after it because they've worked for everything. They have, and it's a group of committed kids that set the standard for our program.
Defensively, I'm sure a lot of those guys might double. If there's somebody you need to mention, but do that as well. But your defense, what kind of prospect or hope do you have defensively for your team?
Yeah,
this year?
I think you're going to see a much improved defense. Our defensive staff took it personal last year, and they're ready to go up front. We got some names that are only going one way.
What does that mean? Your defensive staff took it personal.
I think a lot of the time when you look, it was always a lot of talk about our offense from last year, and I think a lot of teams, we gave up a lot of rushing yards last year, and that's something that in the off season our staff said we're going to get corrected, and they have, and they've attacked it. And you look at our defensive front, we feel it's a tough defensive front, starting with Donovan Oliver, who's an all-Mahoning County returner. On the other defensive end, we add Aaron Hively, who came over from Western Reserve. And then in the middle, it's Josh Fitzgerald, who completely transformed his body and is now from that Fitzgerald bloodline. Those three are going to be tough to deal with in the front. And then that allowed us to move A.J. Bird to Mike Backer. Our backers were returned 2 on the outside. A.J.'s a returner. Even though he didn't play there last year, he's in the middle. We're getting rained on pretty good here. And then our secondary. I'm going to get that in before the rain.
Your prospects. What do you feel about this team, Coach? What are you most happy and proud before we get too soaked and my camera's getting wet?
You know what?
Let me get my camera here as
we're
we're talking.
We're walking and talking. Here, I got you, Gary.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go to the shed. Yeah, wrap it up.
This is one of the classic interviews.
Yes, it is. The one for me as well. Yeah.
Are you still?
Yeah, I'm with you just till we get to the building here, but we'll talk about the prospects, I guess, as long as we're underneath the water. Thanks for carrying that camera. Okay,
no
here you go. You're good.
All right.
Yeah.
In terms of our when you look at our prospects, I feel like we have 4 college guys in our secondary 5. We go with the 3 safety look, but Cam Smith, who's getting Power 5 attention right now, the kid's just his length and his speed. He's playing a hybrid for us now. He'll be walked in the box and then covering, and we feel like that accents his skills to the max. And Dan Evans is a young guy he's already had Friday night action, and he's going to be a good one for years to come. With that, you have Deshaun Vaughn, who's a sophomore, who'll start for us. Brian Butler will rotate in. At the other corner, you have sophomore and Davion Pritchard rotating in with him. Arthur Kroom, both those guys are competing for a spot. We feel pretty confident back there. It's a mix of young and old, and then you got the leader of the whole defense, and Tyler will set everyone straight and set everyone right.
How do you feel about the season from your perspective, Coach? Have you seen the progress you wanted in camp? And what are you thinking about? What's a good season for Fitch? What do we even talk about as being a good season?
It's we talk about things as a group, and that's beat our rivals, and we feel we have several rivals. When you look at our rivals, it's now like every local team. We want to win all the local games. It stinks that we're not in a conference, so we can't talk about conference championships. But that propels us to think about the playoffs and think about Week 11. With us, what I love the most is our schedule. It's so demanding.
Yep.
So we can't even look by Week 1, Week 2. And I think most schools, you could go down their schedule and say, all right, here's 6 games we should win. Here's 2 games that are 50-50, and maybe 2 games we lose.
Is this hypothetical right now?
Yeah. No, not us. I'm not talking about us. But you're going down the schedule, and you see that. With us, it's 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. Really good team. I think Fitch might be better. It's every week, and then it's going to matter how the teams progress throughout the season.
And the good thing is, if you lose a few, you'll be a 14th seed now. And who cares? As long as you get in, instead of at least you could.
I'm not too happy about that. I do wish it was at a minimum 12. I thought 8 was good. I was okay with 12. 16 is just a little too big. But as a program, we don't expect to be in that. We don't ever accept being in that 12 to 16 range. We want to push forward, but we'll use the season as a learning tool and be in a lot of big games. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned, opening up with Cheney, going to the Hall of Fame Stadium, playing Ursuline at home, which I know they've publicly said they want us, and then we finish with 2 rivalry games in terms of Boardman, Warren. We got Massillon here. It's a schedule. We go to Canfield. I love the hostile environments. We bring Wadsworth in. It's going to be a fun season.
A true quarterback battle, Fitch and Ursuline, I would believe. What is your opinion on that one?
We're
I mean, you guys could open it up.
Yeah,
Both
we're a
teams.
team of 11. I don't care how we win. If we win 7-0, if we win 3-0, if we win 42-40,
You can do either way.
Whatever we got to do.
There it is.
And that's the way our team motto is. If we got to rush for 500 yards, we'll rush for 500 yards. We're not looking as a quarterback battle. We're looking at that game specifically as a Fitch versus Ursuline battle.
As a fan, it makes it more enticing, to see who prevails.
Yeah.
With two good quarterbacks
No doubt about it.
running two
Yeah.
good programs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So best of luck to you this year. We're sorry for all the
I
elements.
can't wait to see how you edit this.
Yeah,
Gary.
I am too. I can't wait.
Challenge.
So we might have to wait. Well, no, we'll get it done. But thank you. I know you got a big game, and you're taking some time on your schedule. I appreciate it. Go Falcons, and God bless.
Thank you, Gary.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.